Total Wine & More is a wonderland to explore. Thousands of wines and spirits, unexpected pairings, and great gifts. Low prices and helpful guides make the holidays magical at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Episode 1743 of No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to Monday. Yay. I've got a flight to Florida to visit my brother for a couple of days at the end of the week. I'm going to have a couple of shows loaded in advance, so we don't stop. We just keep going. And today's show is one where when you're in a salary negotiation and that manager with a scowl on his or her face says to you, "Give me one good reason I should increase the offer." And I offer you answers for when you're a senior individual and for when you aren't. Hope you find this helpful and give it a great review. And thus, let's get going. Someone described a situation to me that they were wrestling with. They have an offer. The firm came in less than what another offer is, and they want to know how to respond. So they've got two offers, a higher one and a lower one. And the lower one is the better job. And, they started to say something to the effect of, there's a wide gap here between your offer and another one that I have. And, I also have a situation, well, let's just start with that. There's a wide gap between the offer you've made and one that I already have, but I prefer this job. If you can match that other offer, I'd be happy to join. I'll commit to it today, sign with whatever paperwork you need, yada, yada, yada. And the hiring manager responded by saying something that translates into, I can work on that, but give me one good reason why I should do that. And the person wound up with brain cramp and did what a lot of people do, which sounds like the interview version of begging. I'll work so hard. I'll be a good employee. I'll care about my job, and my grades are good. I need the money. I've got a lot of expenses, and I need the money. And all that happens is they just sound ridiculous, and no one really cares. So understand, that the promise to be a great employee is what's expected. And that you have a lot of expenses they don't really care about. And if you promise to work 24/7, you're just a liar because you're not going to do that. So what can you do? What can you say? And that's the basic theme behind this. The notion that you're a distance apart is really the key response that you have. I have another offer from another firm, or my own firm is talking about giving me a raise, and I should have the raise within 2 weeks. I'm prepared to say yes. The other offer, the other offer would bring me to, and whatever the number is, and the raise would bring me to, you give them a sense of the numbers. I'm not asking you to give me $50,000 more unless that's really what the other offer is for. But what I'm asking you to do is to match. And unfortunately, I'd have to turn down your offer, even though I really prefer the role, because I'm not independently wealthy. Money is a factor for me, and I'd be kidding you if I said anything to the contrary. So all I'm asking you to do is match the other offer, and I'll commit to joining now. That's a sincere approach because they'll understand very clearly that you want to join. You're saying you will join. And this is a tactic I've used when I did recruiting. I had people do this for themselves because they were put on the spot. And I just told them very simply, you may not have noticed this, but there's no one with my last name on the list of wealthiest Americans in Forbes or in Fortune. My income is basically my value. or what I need to support myself. And it's not a big difference, but fundamentally for me it is, because I'm working to earn a living as well as do great work. So I simply say, I'd encourage you to match the other offer. Now, if you're really feeling pointed, you can simply say the cost of going back and interviewing and re-engaging this process, or hiring the person who is second best. There was something in your mind that differentiated me from them. And there's certainly an expense of going back and interviewing. It takes you away from your work. It takes your team away to evaluate people. And frankly, wouldn't you rather just be done with it? That works very well at a senior level. At average Jane and Joe level, just stick with the first half of it as I outlined. It works very nicely. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few more ways to get more from me. First of all, there's my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. I have more than 8,000 blog posts there that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you find your next job. In addition, if you're interested in my coaching you, at the site, there's a button there that says schedule. Schedule time for a free discovery call, schedule yourself in for coaching, interview preparation coaching, salary negotiation advice, how to have your questions answered, or coaching related to hiring more effectively, managing and leading, helping you be a better executive in your organization, and overall being a better employee of your firm. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. Mention that you watched or listen to my content. I like knowing I'm helping folks. Once we're connected, if you're interested in coaching, let me know. I think it's easier at the website, but if that's the way you want to do it, so be it. Lastly, join my group on Facebook called Career Angles. It's focused on helping you do better at work. Information there is shared daily, and I'm attempting to build a supportive group there. Ask to join. I'm not letting recruiters in, so I want to make it a safe place for everyone. I'll be back tomorrow with more. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Be great!
This episode is sponsored by Schwans.com. What are you having for dinner tonight? Good question. Schwann's Home Delivery has a solution for you. Stock up your freezer with high-quality frozen foods like premium meats and sides, delicious ready-made meals, ice cream, and more. No subscriptions, no memberships, just a friendly yellow truck that's been delivering food for almost 70 years. Listeners of this show get a special deal. Get 20% off your first order with code YUM20. Check out schwans.com/YUM for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
This Thanksgiving, think outside the oven and get Thanks Grilling with Ace. Get a new grill and choose from top brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg to add even more flavor to your Thanksgiving turkey, side dishes, and desserts. Plus, right now, get free assembly and delivery on all grills and accessories $3.99 and up. For the best help on the best grills, stop by your local Ace and get Thanks Grilling. Ace Rewards members only through December 24th. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusions.